Let's try a new sunscreen. Last time I just reached in and picked it randomly, so I'm gonna do the same thing. It's a good way of making sure that I actually try everything and I don't just pick the ones I'm familiar with. Dr. Ceuracle Hyal Reyouth Moist Sun. It's a chemical sunscreen, SPF50. It has hyaluronic acid, panthenol, and niacinamide. Feels a little bit liquidy, so I'm going to really shake it to make sure that it's all mixed in together. Online, it says it's supposed to have a radiant finish. As always, 2 finger lengths of sunscreen. It feels really lightweight. This is definitely like a gel moisturizer. It's almost a little bit more liquidy than a gel moisturizer. You can see there's a lot of translucency to it, and when I spread it out, it kind of glows clear right away. It just shows you how lightweight it is. It feels really nice. No eye burn, no white cast, no pilling. It blended in so effortlessly. As always, I'm going to take it with me, reapply throughout the day, and see how it goes. Also, it's not sticky. I think this is going to be good. 8:36 p.m. and it's time for the final update. Before I get into my thoughts on this sunscreen, I want to talk about reapplication and why I test it by trying it on 3 times. I fully understand that some people don't bother reapplying their sunscreen. A lot of people just put it on once and they don't reapply throughout the day. Ideally, you should be reapplying your sunscreen. So the reason why I apply this 3 times in my sunscreen tests is because during the long, hot, sunny summer days, usually I will reapply it at least twice in addition to the first time I put it on in the day. So my minimum is 3 times. Some days I'll apply it way more than that, and then some days I'll just apply it once. It totally depends on the time of year, how sunny it is, what I'm doing, if I'm going out, if I'm staying in. I'm applying it 3 times so that I can see how these sunscreens will do on the days that I apply it the most. And when it comes to the sunscreen, I do like it. It's very lightweight. It's almost like a gel-like cream texture. It applied really easily, blended in so seamlessly. It's very lightweight. I do also find it very hydrating. No eye burn, no white cast, no pilling. The first application felt super comfortable. With the second application, it started to feel a little bit thicker, but it was still totally fine. With the third application, it did start to feel a little bit like I can't wait to wash my face. That being said, I know some people will not be applying it 3 times. And to be honest, if I wasn't doing a sunscreen test, I probably wouldn't have applied it 3 times today because the sun is going down way sooner now. I probably would have tapped out at 2 applications with this one. I feel like for me, that would have been more than enough today. What I mean by saying that I kind of couldn't wait to wash my face is that it's not that it was super uncomfortable. It just kind of had that feeling that some gel type moisturizers have when they dry down. They feel a little bit like a film and a little bit tight. This one kind of had like a tiny bit of that, but it wasn't as bad as some gel moisturizers that I've tried. It was just like a tiny bit of it. Honestly, if I had stayed at 2, it would have been completely fine and it was perfectly comfortable. So if you're looking for a sunscreen that is very lightweight in texture, blends in very easily, very hydrating, I think you'll like this one. Now, when it comes to the finish on this one, I do think it was more of a natural finish on me. It didn't add any glow. It didn't take away any glow. It was just like what my skin is normally like. As I'm sure you know by now, I usually prefer something a little bit glowier. To be completely honest with you though, when it comes to natural sunscreens, I do feel like there are other ones that I would probably reach for before this one just based on instinct. Can't remember which ones right now because I've tried so many. Off the top of my head, I do think it would be the Anua and the Round Lab Docto sunscreen. I have to double check and make sure that I'm getting them right. I just kind of feel like those 2 did better with the 3-time reapplication. Honestly, with something like this, it totally comes down to personal preference, comes down to how much you're going to be reapplying your sunscreen, what kind of texture you like, what kind of finish you like. Is it bad? No. Is it the best? No, it's just kind of in between for me. Based on the first application, I honestly thought I was going to like it more, but this is why testing with reapplication is so important. That's where it can get a little bit tricky. The second layer, the third layer, some people do 4th and 5th layers. If you've tried the sunscreen, let me know what you think.